What's up, my friend? It is Sonia with Junk Monkey Paint Company. Good morning to you. Happy Thursday. Friday is just right here. Like we're right there. It's about to be upon us. So today is going to be a busy day. I don't know about you, but when I see Friday, I know Thursdays is the day to get it done. If I want to stick to my schedule, to have some time to myself on the weekends. So as you all pop on, be sure to say hello. Good morning, Chris. Good morning. Making your coffee. So good coffee. Listen, I need my coffee this morning. Some days you just feel more tired than other days. Today is one of those days for me. If you had one of those days this week, or are you pretty well coasting? Do you feel like it's been about the same? Yesterday, I stayed up way too late, and as a result, I'm feeling it today. Good morning, Jocelyn. Do you have your cup in your hand? Hi, Jerry. How are you? So who's excited for the weekend? Sometimes even if you have to work on a weekend, you just get excited because of the whole idea. It's the weekend. I got to work, but it's still the weekend, right? Stacy says, today's that day for me too. Yeah. What's that saying? Just, it can't all be diamonds, right? Some days you just gotta work for the happiness, right? We got to dig deep inside and work for the happiness. It's there. A little coffee usually coaxes it to come out, right? So today I'm going to talk to you. About batching it out. All right. So who right now, when I say the word batching it out in your business, what does that mean for you when you hear me say that? And is there something, bless you, Stanley. Stanley's back there behind the other curtain over there. I think he just sneezed. What is something that you have batched out, or I guess today when you listen to this chat, if you're not already batching out or you did in the past, you're not so good at it, you need to get a little bit better at batching out. I want you to think by the end of it, what is something that you could do? All right, it's all about focus. It's all about productivity. You've been running all week for time for you today. Woohoo, you deserve it. Always take time for you, right? Because without you, you can't pour from an empty cup. So you're gonna need to take some love for yourself. If you don't take time to love on yourself, then you know what? Some days life just says you have no choice, right? That's when we get sick if we don't take care of ourselves. So I'm glad you're taking a day for you. Barb says she's helping her brother do woodworking. Oh, do your woodworking and repair. Very nice. It's always nice to have a family member who's good at that sort of stuff, right? My brother's like that. If me and my brother lived in the same location, I'm pretty sure that we would be dangerous together, because he sends me pictures like this past week of a beautiful headboard that he did. And if I was there, I'd be junk monkeying it up and he'd be the one making it, right? So it's nice when you have family members or friends that you just jive with and you hang out and you get to do your thing together. All right. So if you have worked in the corporate world before, work for another business, building somebody else's dream, right? Your goal is to have your own business and doing your own thing. But right now you're learning. I always say, never lose, always learn. So you're working for somebody else right now, and it's teaching you wonderful things like leadership and also batching out for productivity. Now, most companies, if you think about it, they don't just have generalized people that do everything, right? There might be some small businesses out there that are still growing, and this is the case, but I'm just saying in general that when you go to a place, there is somebody that specializes, for example, in payroll and billing, right? The lady that sends you the bill, right, for, I don't know, your hotel stay or something involved within that company. Okay, even if it's like electrical company, okay? Think about a bill. She's probably not the one that's out there climbing the towers, right? And connecting all the cables. We all have our own specialization, our own abilities. And that is a great way to think about it. The reason why companies give you a job title and give you a general bucket, like a narrow focus of what you do. Your HR, your front desk, you take all the reservations, right? You're the person who checks somebody in. You're working food service today, okay? You're working food service, you're not the janitor. So we all have these buckets that we fall in. Well, why do you think companies do that? It's because we get specialized, we get good at something when we do it over and over again. We're more productive when we don't have to learn as we go, doing stuff that feels out of our comfort zone, right? And yes, there may be days when you have to be everything to everyone. And isn't that exhausting? That actually proves what I'm about to talk to you guys about today. That when you have to cover for other people at work and you're doing a job that you don't typically do and you don't like run that computer very often, you just feel so out of sorts. And the days that you have to pick up for other people around you, you go home at the end of the day and you're like, did I even get anything done? I didn't get my own work done. I feel like I was just like, running around like a chicken with my head cut off, right? I feel like I was stretched like, Laffy Taffy, but I never really got anything accomplished. Case in point, we often say this, if you're the person who picks up around the house or does the majority of it, does the laundry, the dishwasher, whatever, maybe just pick a day where you said to yourself, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the house clean today, right? But yet, you know what? The doorbell rings and you're having a conversation with somebody. Something breaks, and now you got to call somebody over here to get this fixed over here. You got to leave what you're doing. You got to run out and pick up the kids over here. Somebody wants you for something over here. There's a catastrophe over here. The dog is sick, and now you got to clean up the mess over here. When you have days where you just feel like, again, you are a little bit here, a little bit there, you feel scattered and you don't feel like you're on your best, right? When you have a day, you look back and you go, did I even get anything done? I felt like I didn't get anything done today, right? I may have did a few pieces of laundry, but I touched this. And as a result, I'm not feeling like I really got anything accomplished today, right? So the same thing happens for us when we're running our own business. Remember, you are the CEO of your business, so act like it. You got to think about, how does other CEOs act, right? Well, they have a general idea of what they're going to be doing. They have a general theme that they're going to be focusing on. They have goals, they have vision, and they're not everything to everyone, right? They have something that they work on. Now, when you are first starting in business, we don't have the luxury of having somebody to do payroll and somebody to do shipping and somebody to do marketing. You are everything to everyone, right? So how do you not get overwhelmed? How do you be productive in your business when you don't feel like you're stretched all over the place, not being good at anything? Well, yeah, batch stuff out, okay? Batching things out is the whole idea of taking specific tasks that you do within your business, and instead of a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there, you carve out some time, okay? You carve out a morning. Some people carve out a day of the week. Is there something that you guys are doing right now that really works for you? I would love it if you would share it with everybody. Just something that works well with, your batching out, or a lot of times you'll hear also called like time blocking. It's a little bit different, but it all goes hand in hand with the idea of taking something that you have to do and you just pinpoint a time that you're going to do it. Now, I read a statistic one time that when we change focus on something that we're doing, have you ever felt like you were in a flow? Okay, like you were just in a flow, whether you're writing something out, you're writing emails out, you're creating. I mean, you forget the world around you. You are such in a flow. It's coming out. You don't even want to, somebody needs you. You don't even want to put the paintbrush down, right? Because you're just feeling so good about what you're doing and you're all into it. But the times that we do have to step away, if right now I'm in a flow, I'm talking with you guys about a specific thing. If I had to leave right now and say, I got to run upstairs, or I got to go somewhere, I got to run to the kitchen and get another cup of coffee, and I just left and I came back, what would happen? I would sit here again, okay, and be like, okay, where was I? What was I saying? Oh yeah, that's right. I think that's what I was saying, right? It can take our minds anywhere. I've heard it from 15 to 25 minutes to get back into a flow again. It's so much nicer when people don't disturb us, right? Or that we don't have to be a million things to a million people. Distractions are real, especially if you have your phone. I also think, if I remember it correctly, it's something like now people check their phones like about 100 times a day. We get distracted. Have you ever, this is a crazy thing, but have you ever gone into your iPhone where it shows you, if you have a smartphone, and it will show you how many hours you spend on screen time a week? Like, that's insane. Who out there has ever checked that before? It's insane. You won't even realize how much time you spent on it until it's all added up for you. Jan says her husband has been doing the laundry because of her knee, so she'll be glad to take that job back. You miss it, huh? Let's see, Mom says, always learning the process in your own business, no matter for how many years you have it. That is so true. And she says, yep, as long as she's had her business, that you still feel like days like you're running around like a chicken, right? So I always tell you guys that you're always in control, and there's always things that you can't control as well. But for the most part, so you have to realize when stuff is out of your control, it's out of your control, and you just leave it at that, right? When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, you suck it up, you take a deep breath, and you say, oh, well, it could be worse. I'm talking about when things in life that you have control over, right? For example, you have a silent button on your phone. You can tell yourself, that I'm not going to take any phone calls right now, send everything to voicemail while I'm working because I had to get up early today. I had to batch out, whatever it is that you have, maybe your storefront opens at a certain time. Then you know what? Do that for yourself to keep your door locked with a sign on that says, I'm not going to open till 11 o'clock, and batch out something you have to get done before the customers come. Because that's another example. If you work in a space where customers have that physical contact with you, man, it is hard to stay focused when there's something you got to do and you're just doing your best to serve them. But, they want to talk to you, they want to engage with you, and you need your mind so you don't make mistakes over here, right? So you're actually helping your customers out when you batch things out, you minus the distractions, and you just get into it, all right? So think about a factory worker. This is the other thing I wrote down. A factory worker, right? What does everybody do on the factory line? They build TVs or there's some product. Everybody has a part. Now, if I was the person that had to put the screw or, the 4 screws in the side, and that was as every piece rolled up to me, that's what I had to do. Your hands after a while, have you ever seen people? They get so fast. It's like, am I watching this in fast forward because I'm just doing so much of this, right? Your brain just goes on autopilot. But if I had to be the person that had to put the screen in, make sure that it was, silicone in there just right, and then put the screws in, I would be so much slower. Because in a factory, time is money. And that is an example of where they really streamline it, right? Everybody has a role to do. And as a result, everything rolls through pretty quickly because we all have our things to do and stay focused on, right? Productivity and focus. So what are some things in your business that you could batch out that you do every single day? So what I'm saying is, for me, instead of trying to space stuff out throughout the day, I could take the morning to batch out. I could take a day of the week to batch out. And it's the same thing I do every single day, right? So one of the things that I do every single day is pack what I call Happy Mail, right? Junk Monkey Paint Happy Mail that goes across the country and beyond every single day. That is a given. When I wake up every single day, you guys have orders in the system. I know I have to do that. Now, if I was working and I packed one order and then I decided to leave it, and then I decided to find my computer, sit down and create a graphic and work on that for a while, and then I leave that and I go back to doing something else that needs to be done, writing an email for my business, maybe working on some emails and replying to customer service. Boy, it's not really a good, efficient use of my time, right? Because by the time I get back again to picking up another box, I'm like, okay, where did I put the tape to? Okay, you feel out of sorts. Where did I leave off to? Where's the next place I need to go? All those minutes, time is our greatest currency, right? I always go back to Oprah, and she says in her soulful conversations on Sundays that I love to listen to, she says, time is basically the greatest thing that we can give ourselves. And if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling like you don't have enough time, you have to look at where am I losing my time, right? Even if you track your day, has anybody ever done that where you track yourself to go, man, I switch over to a lot of different things versus giving myself some time to just knock out some part, right? So for us who are furniture painters, if you want to think about that, how it applies to you, there's a step that you have to do. So I don't mean batching out big, as in I'm going to take a piece of furniture, I'm going to paint it from beginning to end all day. I mean breaking it down even further and going, okay, the first thing I'm going to do today is batch out. And this is the day that I do all the prep. I take all the hardware off every piece, all right? Every piece. You're not looking for the screwdriver the next time you have to work on this one over here. Is it a flathead or is it a Phillips? And do I have that one? You know what? You have your toolbox out. So maybe your batching day is I'm going to go out and find my furniture all in one day. I'm going to go out and find it all in one morning, right? Rather than going all over the place. When I hear of people who do things like this, I think to myself, you'll get smarter. You'll get smarter. I used to do this as well, thinking that if I went on Craigslist or I went on Marketplace or I went on somewhere and I saw something that I needed for my business, like a piece of furniture, this is my world that I live in, and a lot of you guys do the same, but apply it to whatever. You think that, or even maybe for anybody who gets supplies, you think you're going out of your way to get something that's on sale, right? And you're going to drive an hour one way to get it and an hour back. That's 2 hours of your time right there, right? Your time is money. It's a very precious currency. We can't get it back. We all have the same amount of hours in the day, and how you use yours can help determine how successful your business and how fast your business is going to grow compared to somebody else's because you figured out how to manage your time better, right? So when I first started, I might look at something and go, oh my gosh, there's a dresser and it's for free. And it's 2 hours away. It's an hour and a half away. Yep, we're going to load up. We're going to drive. We're going to get it. And then we're going to come back. Woohoo. Well, that pretty much takes an entire day, right? I mean, think about that. If it's an hour and a half, 2 hours to get there, by the time you get it loaded up, by the time you have conversation with the person, by the time you get ready to go as well, by the time you fuel up your car, you pay for the fuel, the wear and tear on your car, and then you get it back and you get it loaded in. I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted after that point. Like, I feel like my day has been burnt off with that much energy that now it's very unlikely that I'm going to get into anything else. And I have one piece. All right. Batching out could be smarter. And instead of going, I'm going to drive all this distance for one thing for free, I am better off finding something within my wheelhouse that I can get to in a reasonable amount of time. And maybe it's a house sale, maybe it's an estate sale, and maybe I can get a bunch of pieces at one time. I can get a batch of stuff at one time versus coming away with one thing that took my entire day, right? Which do you think is more efficient? Finding, so I started to say, for those of you who don't do furniture, using the example of traveling a long way because you saw something on sale, right? Ribbon on sale, or wreath base on sale, right? Or if there's something that you want for your business and you're going out of your way, does it really make sense? So as you move along in business, the more that you have on your plate, the more you realize, man, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can afford that to do that in my business, right? Like, that takes a lot of time. And there's only me, and there's only so much to go around, and therefore I have to work smarter and not harder. So I'm just looking at what you guys are talking about. Yeah, Susan says crazy craft disorder. And this is it. We have a million ideas because we're creatives, and that's what we're here to do, right? We're thinking up all the recipes that we can do, the creative things that we can do for our business, the creative designs that we can do, all the things that we can do. And so we got to work hard on making sure that we focus ourselves. So batching out, it can be stuff like, today is the day that, so again, you can theme it out in your planner. You guys are talking about planners right now, what works for you guys in the comments. I love it. Keep sharing. So you can think about, I'm going to dedicate, these days and theme out the day to do one specific thing and stay in that vein and get it knocked out. So for example, emails, I started to say, if you write emails to your customer, if you send a newsletter to your customer, you could write your emails. That's what happens a lot of times when you are, especially if you know of people who are on launches, right? And there's a sequence of a bunch of emails that go out within a short period of time. Do you really think that they're at the time sending that email and writing it? No, they've got other things to do, right? So you can think about, I'm going to send out a batch of emails over this period of time when something goes live on my website. I want to make sure everybody gets, hears about it. So for the next, for the next 5-7 days, I'm going to talk about it. Therefore, I'm going to batch out the emails. The blog, maybe I blog for my on my website. And, think about too, that you can be blogging and you can be batching out the writing that you have to do. You just did it this week. I mean, you can look back right now and go, this is what I created this week. This is what I did this week. This is the photography I did this week. This is what I worked on this week, right? That you've accomplished in your line of work. And then you can say to yourself, starting this weekend, I'm going to batch out a Saturday morning before everybody is alert and awake, right? And then pulled like Laffy Taffy. And it's going to be my writing time. And I'm going to sit down and I'm going to basically write a blog with all the how-to for the projects that I did this week. And so you stay in your vein of writing and uploading your photos, not forgetting how you upload your photos. I lost that photo, right? Mapping it out and having it really figured out, like, this is the time I'm going to dedicate to it right here. For those who work in food service, Matt's a chef, right? I know all about that. Happens prep time as well happens before the doors even open to the kitchen, right? He will go in hours before the restaurant opens because you know what? You have to prep the bacon. You have to prep the lettuce. You have to do the tomato, right? And man, if you ever seen that man cut stuff, I'm like, I don't know how you still have fingers, dude. All right. Because I wouldn't have fingers left on my hand. But you get so good at something that you don't even have to look at something, right? You can slice tomatoes like it's nobody's business. Imagine if you came in now to order something, and this happens in business, and then you hear the reviews that service is terrible because they have to make it as they go, right? if they don't prep some stuff, if they don't batch out some stuff to have it ready, do you really think they're going to be able to keep customers happy cooking every single thing that comes in the door? No, you got to have the time to make the casseroles, right? You got to batch it out. I'm going to peel my potatoes. I'm going to peel my carrots, and I'm going to get that all done, hands on deck. So that way, when my doors are open, I've got that done and I don't feel like I'm behind. When you get a little bit of the feeling of what it feels like to batch it out, and that feeling of I'm actually ahead today, I feel so good. You kind of get addicted to that feeling where it will make you get out of bed in the morning to get it done because you will thank yourself later that day, right? You ever heard of that saying, do something now that your future self will thank you for? Batching out is one of those things. So emails, social media, how about that one? How do you think, let me throw it to you guys. How do you think you can batch out your social media, knowing what you do with social media? Judy says, Judy says she has a problem with growing children. They're so demanding for mom's attention. We're always going to be moms, right? Like, yeah. They're going to be 40 years old, right? My mom is still my mom, right? She can't get rid of me. Debbie says she's raising her grandkids. Marie says she spent yesterday cutting out 20, yes, green shamrock sun catchers in preparation of St. Patrick's Day. That is a very, very good example. That is called batching it out, right? She's not getting up on the morning of St. Patty's Day and cutting out all those things. She's thinking ahead right now, and she's going to thank herself later when she goes, I am so glad that I did that. Oh yeah, where are they? Yeah, I cut those out before. Jerry says, I spend too much time on Pinterest. So get this, guess what? Sometimes we have to get inspiration, right? We have to refuel ourselves and not always be in the making process. So Jerry, you can batch it out to say, you know what? I work hard all week. I do these things that move my business forward. Those are the money-making activities. I don't make money looking on Pinterest, but you know what? It fills my happy bucket. And also I get inspiration. I see color coordinated ideas together. I don't steal anybody's ideas, but it fuels me to go, oh yeah, I never thought about doing that with XYZ. I'm going to do my own spin on it, right? Oh yeah, that's real. I love that. Like I said, the color combo together, or that's a really pretty backdrop right there. I really like that. I should maybe try something like that. Or I love the way my eyes are drawn to this photo and how it's physically laid out. And I think I'm going to try to take more photos similar to that, like with that same kind of layout, right? So we can go ahead and we can get ideas. That's part of market research, right? So maybe you batch out for yourself that Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning, whatever, first thing in the morning, okay? You give yourself 30 minutes to go browse and catch yourself up on your Pinterest boards. And then you move on to something else, right? What happens is when we don't even have a structure, right? When we just feel so loosey-goosey. Have you ever heard, I'm a big believer in this, that kids need structure, that, a lot of times they act out because they want to know the boundaries. I think for us as adults too, like I get overwhelmed. You tell me if you're the same way. If I don't have any structure in my life, like I need it. I need to have some sense of what I'm doing today when I get up, because it's very hard for me to not have a sense of where I'm going. Like I like to have something to work towards. Even if it's generalized, we're doing this in the morning, this in the afternoon. But for me, waking up and not even knowing how I'm going to attack today, that's really hard for me. Like I like structure. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and out of sorts, maybe you just need to sit down and think to yourself, okay, what can I do? So we talked about emails. Oh yeah, social media, right? Did anybody say it about scheduling out your post? Facebook allows you to schedule out your post. You can work with other apps out there where you go in. You're not on the part of Facebook where you're posting, okay? Like on the wall. That gets distracting. All right. You can go into your creator studio. You can have an app that feeds into your social media. So that way you can kind of put the blinders on. All right. And then go ahead and start uploading your photos and writing captions. And you can go as far as you want. And you can still pop in and do your things daily. But maybe, you know what? Sonia says post 2 to 3 times at least on my Facebook page. So if 2 of those things I've already have planned from stuff, I don't need to plan it as I go. And then I keep one thing for the in the moment, like my day, something in my day that's real time that I post, right? That can be batching out, going, I'm going to go ahead this week and get that done, right? Batching out can be, maybe you're editing something. And a lot of times our brains, it's so hard. you're working, excuse me, feeling froggy this morning. You work on something and it involves like IT and clicking and learning a software program, how quickly we forget. Even when you come back the next day, you got to like, okay, what did I call that file? Where did I put that file? Oh yeah, how did I drag and drop? How did I turn on the volume on that? How did I like size up my text on that? Whereas if you stay into it, right? If you're trying to practice guitar, if you only you're trying to train yourself for a song, right? And you play it one time and you put the guitar down, right? Play it again and again and again. And that's how you see the progress, right? Because you stay in the moment and you get better at it. Jocelyn says, I'm looking at my daily plan and I have scheduled out my day so I know what I'll be doing and when, thankfully. Yes, and it can change, but at least you have an idea, right? We're not locked into anything. We're not locked into anything. But you know what? It's like you here at your home. If you have a time that you generally do laundry, everybody else in the house knows, you know what? Mom's doing laundry that day, right? And what happens is if you live with people in your home and you train people on how you want to be treated. So you know what, if it's mom's time or your time in the house and other people in the house know that this is a time that don't bother because you know what, she's working on her social media management right now, right? Like people will go, oh yeah, where's mom too? Oh yeah, that's where she is, right? People, yeah, it's the routine. Again, the routine of knowing it, right? Yes, and when life happens, you're absolutely right. You just got to roll with it. But rolling with it, rolling out of bed and just rolling with it, just in general, you're going to feel much better and much more productive and be more productive when you have things batched out or a general idea of when you're working on stuff, right? So you could say to yourself, okay, so I'm going to batch out my ideas for my lives this week and plan out my lives. And this is going to be my live batching session that I do with myself once a week to figure out what I'm going to talk about this week, right? Last week, I got the furniture already. I batched out the furniture. So on any given day, I can go out. Like I can go in my garage right now and I have a table full of small projects, okay, that I can just grab and go. That doesn't demand a lot of my attention, but I always have a batch of them right there because I've got stuff batched out before, right? Like I've hit multiple thrift stores and I got a bunch of stuff at one time. I can't paint it all at one time, but I have it there, the batch of it, and I can grab from it and go. I don't need to run it. If I had to do a live right now, I would not have to leave my house, right? I can go get it because I've already done the work and it's a preparation thing, right? It's already batched out and done. So if you're doing, for example, in your business, we talked about arms of revenue in here and different ways that you can make money in your business. If one of those examples is I've decided to open up my time for one-on-one coaching where I will have one-on-one, I'm teaching somebody how to paint, I'm teaching somebody how to grow their business, I'm teaching somebody something, all right? I'm using my time and I'm selling my time and knowledge and expertise to somebody else. Maybe you want to batch out and you want to, set one day aside. I set 8 a.m. every morning here aside to do what I'm doing with you guys. That means that I already know when a day is coming up and there's a question of, can I do it? Can I not? I'm going to time it in my day because I already know what I'm doing, right? It becomes very consistency wins. You get more consistent, you get more structured. And as a result, you keep getting that momentum, right? You're not always, the snowball keeps rolling and you don't feel like you're walking away from it and just trying to gain the power to push it again. So writing, coaching one-on-one, having all your coaching calls in one day can be good. I started talking earlier about batching out, doing all your hardware, all your prep in one day. Maybe you clean your furniture all in one day for the week ahead. So you're doing the one rag, you got your card cutter, you're doing your clean job. You paint all in one day. Whatever it is, you do it all in one day. You can have a day or a morning where you set aside, this is all my administrative tasks, all right? Like this is the day that I log in so I don't have to do this because jillion times this week going, what's my password? Instead, what I do is I do all my administrative work at this time of the week. All right, graphic artwork, I wrote down, same sort of thing. If you're working on graphics for the week ahead and you're in PicLab or you're in your favorite Canva or your favorite app that you're working on, stay in and get them done for the next few days ahead. Just give yourself a little bit of some string there, all right? How about bookkeeping? I don't know about you, but if you're going to be in the bill world, stay in the bill world, right? Because it is hard. Remember how we talked about at the beginning, people in jobs that generally have a job to do, it's going to be hard if the person that, calculates bills and prints bills, all right, puts them in envelopes, and that's what they do all day long, has to leave their desk and has to go up on the 4th floor and now turn over a room and change a room. And, you know, if you're in hospitality, somebody who bills you is not the same person who's going to make your bed. And if it is, then you know what, when they come, they're probably not doing a great job, because by the time they come back down, they're going to be like, okay, where did I leave off? I'm not even in the mood to do this now, right? You expend energy in other ways where just you lose that flow, and that flow is important, right? You can even batch out a time where you do, you have idea time. Like, this is my brainstorm idea batch out time, where I grab a whiteboard, where I grab a notebook and a pen, and I sit here and I just think to myself, you know, what are some things that I want to do this week in business, right? Batch it out. Batch it out. Give yourself time to sit down and think through whatever it is that you have to do. So what do you guys think about that? I know life is busy, and I know you can say, well, boy, that's hard to do. If you start doing it, you can train yourself to do it. And you might already be batching out stuff now, like some stuff, but there's probably more stuff that you can batch out and that you can do, right? Same idea. All right. I do this to myself, and me and Matt look at each other, right? When you run a busy schedule, for example, have you ever been in this position where you look in your fridge and you go, like, we have no groceries, and you go, okay, you run to the store and get some bread, get some meat, get some mayonnaise, and we'll have sandwiches for lunch. All right. And they come back. All right. And supper time comes, and you know, supper time is coming. Like, it happens every single day, right? There are things in your business that you know you have to do every single day, or that it's going to happen like clockwork, because that's how your business runs. But what are you doing to yourself, right? Are you making yourself run to the store every single time you need an ingredient? Or are you batching out and going, I'm going to get my groceries this week. All right. I'm going to get it all. And I'm going to go ahead and fill my kitchen so I have my stuff. And I'm even going to batch out. I'm going to take some time to sit down and write down some general recipes. Like, here are the meats, here are the vegetables this week, right? Because we have all been there, right? And it doesn't feel good when you're like, yep, back at Walmart today getting some more food. And the greeters are looking at you like, weren't you just here? Yep. Come here every single day. But when you take control, think about that. All the time that you're spent in the gas, right? All the stuff that you don't even realize goes into it. Your break of your thought, everything, right? You're not helping yourself. You're not helping yourself. And yeah, you're the time to go to the store, you're walking around, you're getting the stuff, you're calling somebody like, do you want this kind? Do you want this kind? Map it out and get it done. And then you can just go and have supper, right? And move on to the next thing. It doesn't become a big thing. It doesn't become a big thing that you have to argue about what you're going to have for lunch. You know, there is something to be said about taking the time to plan some stuff out, right? Chris says, problem is most creatives have squirrel brain, including me. We all do. We all do. That's what makes us so amazing, though, right? That's why we all have ideas. But we also got to have a conversation with ourselves, right? The first thing in realizing that you have a problem is admitting you have a problem, all right? So there are times that if you feel like this, that you get sick of yourself, you're like, why do I do that to myself? Like, I am so tired of staying up. Like, you guys know that I did a switch over at the beginning of the year, January the 1st. I am so tired of letting myself stay up so late and then waking up later than I want to in the morning. And it takes me a while to get going in the morning. And then I'm like mad at myself, right? Why do I do this to myself, right? I mean, there's something in your life that you know that you're literally sick of yourself. You're like, okay, you're complaining about something and you can hear yourself complain and you know that that the buck stops with you, right? Like if you don't get something in check, then it's going to get crazy. And so in our business, when you start to grow and now it's not only you, it's not as easy. You're just not in a single form. You've got people counting on you now. Now you're coordinating. You're supposed to be in somebody's home. Now somebody is counting on you to get something done so that they have something by a deadline. They're counting on you to have a great experience because they're spending a ton of money and they are coming to your property. They made the trek and they're coming in, and you know what? They're bringing their family that came from out of town. And maybe your job is, you know what? You got to provide a great, experience for them. Again, it works with whatever business that we're in. It's you're the CEO, and you don't have a million different people right now. When you're first growing in business, otherwise you wouldn't have a business because you would be forking out so much money, you would not be able to keep your doors open. There's something to be said about all you learn when you're first growing your business. You'll get better at business. Nobody will work your business like you will. You will look for ways to save you money. And then you know what, when you're ready to go get help, you'll have learned it so well that you know exactly who you need to hire, what you need them to do, and you're going to know exactly if they're going to be a good fit, right? So I think that there is a lot of stuff that we can learn when we're doing it ourselves, as much as sometimes you get overwhelmed and you go, oh, I just wish I had people. Yeah, you know what? We all do, right? But you know what? Just appreciate the season that you're in. And if you keep your nose to the grind, you'll eventually get to the point where now this is keeping you so far away from doing other things that it makes sense to hire somebody out when it's starting to affect your business. But if you can do it right now, do it right now and do it and be like, you know what? I'm thankful that I have control over this and I'm not paying somebody $500 a week to do this. And it's me doing it now. And I can make sure that it's done right. I can learn from here, never lose, always learn, right? I can take something forward with me in life and apply it later on in my business. But yes, we all have creative ideas. That is what makes us so amazing. So like embrace the idea brain, because if you're somebody who you can sit with somebody and you're the one that's always coming up with ideas, even when it comes to like, you got ideas like, yeah, we could do this today. How about we do this today? How about we go here today? And the other person's like, I don't know. Give me some time to think about it. You're blessed with a brain that can come up with a million ideas, right? But also recognizing that about yourself and knowing that if you have a problem, like it's gotten out of control to the point where you are spending so much time batching out ideas that you're not actually batching out the work that you need to do to move your business forward, that's when you have a problem, right? That's when you got to go have a look at yourself in the mirror, have a conversation with yourself in the mirror and go, I am going to change this starting tomorrow. Remember, you are in control, right? Nobody else can make you feel the way you feel. Nobody else can make you do stuff. Like it is you, right? You're not a tree. You can move. You can do stuff. You can change stuff. So one of the things I started to say earlier this year was I was staying up way too late, the night owl in me, and I had to break myself of that. I had to break myself of that. And I did. And now I meet with you guys here in the morning at 8 a.m., which normally I would be asleep right now, right? Because I'd be working till 11, 12 o'clock at night, and my day was completely different. And it took a little bit, but I did it and I worked through it, and I feel so good right now, right? Like I feel so good. I feel like my day is different now. It's wonderful, but it starts with you. Diane says, unfortunately, I am a lot like my mother. Better under pressure. If there is a deadline, it will be done. Make deadlines. Yes, make deadlines is very, very important. Oh, trust me. Trust me. I have to work against myself as well. If my mom is on here, she will tell you that I was the child that, mom's going to bed, dad's going to bed, and mom looks at me and goes, you should go to bed too now. You got school in the morning. I got to do an essay. I'm going to sit up at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night and write an essay about Pluto. Okay. I don't know what I got to do, and I'll get it done. If I have to stay awake till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll get it done. Last minute girl. Right. And it always worked good because I'm a procrastinator too. And I always pull it off. Right. But what's going to happen is that the whole goal is that your business is going to grow. Right. When it's just you, it's different. But as your business grows and there are other people depending on you, their customer service is affected by how you run yourself, right? How you manage yourself. There comes a time when you're going to get sick of doing those sorts of things and going, that's it. I got to get better at it. I can't do this anymore, right? I got to get my supplies ahead of time because I can't be in the middle of a project and then having to run out and, grab something that I need. Like that's not serving me. That's not serving my customers. I don't feel like I'm putting my best into it anymore because I'm so distracted at what I'm doing. You'll get to a point in your business where you have to take control and have a conversation with yourself, right? Claudia says, I love the idea of a planner, but just can't keep up with one. Post works well for me at the moment. Yes, an idea board, that's always good. I was looking at my idea board last month. So at the beginning of the year, I have a whiteboard. Some of them that come from the Dollar Tree, pay $1 and it's a whiteboard. And also, you know me, Matt always says, do you need one more notebook, Sonia? Yep, I do. All right. And sometimes you switch them up because you just, I don't know, this one has a pretty cover today. But the point is you're writing it down. It's more likely for whatever it is that you're trying to achieve to come true if you write it down. We know that. That's a fact. That's a statistic. But last night I was looking at my whiteboard that I wrote down in January. And remember, you can evolve as you go. But the point is you have something. You're running a race here, right? Like where is your finish line? What is it that you're trying to achieve here? So taking some time to think to yourself, what do I want to accomplish this year? what is something that people have been asking me for? What's a goal that I have that I want to get done this year for my business? I was looking at mine last night going, am I still on track, right? Remember how I always say, are you climbing the wrong ladder? You're working so hard because you see somebody else doing something over here, and then you're like, I should do that too. And then you climb to the top of the ladder and you realize the view is not the same view. Their view is because they're staying true to what they want, but you're not staying true to you, right? And you get to the top and you go, this is not really, I built my business this way because I thought that's what worked for other people. Well, what works for other people, we're all different, is not going to work for you. Build it your way. Keep yourself, have your visuals in front of you so you can say to yourself, all right, everything that I'm saying yes to, does this align with my goals? And with that, that is so good. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. Yes, because we get off track. We do, because we got squirrel brain, right? Because we're creatives. We got lots of ideas. Nothing wrong with that. There are people that will pay a lot of money for your ideas. And that's how new things are born, right? Kim, you have a planner as well. Yeah, now you're addicted to it. Yep, absolutely. So I have my planner as well right here, and you'll find a planner eventually that really works well for you. For me, I like a very simple planner like this here. It's my 7 days a week. And in the front, I have, so I got to take it in chunks. Give me the week so I can see it, and then give me the month up front so I can also see like the overview, right? The most two important things that I need to see, and just pick a planner that works well for you. Yeah, week by week. I need to be able to see the entire month, but for me, if I open up a planner and it has the whole 30 days in one page, like, or the double page, I like, all right, that's a lot of spaces. Week by week, right? How do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time. So do one thing as you go. Kim, you got a partner over there. You got your dog who wants to chat, huh? And this is another thing too. I was thinking about as we came on here about batching things out. Walking your dogs, right? If you're like me and you have multiple pets, right? Spending time with your pets. That's a batching out thing where you take time, go like, okay, I'm going to take this one for a walk around the block. I'm going to take this one for a walk around the block, right? You batch it out. I'm going to feed my animals. Whereas doing one animal and then walking away, they're going to get really mad with you, number one. But you see what I'm saying? Coming back and forth, batching it out. All right, this is when I make dinner. This is when I make dinner for the pets. All right, this is when I put the stuff in the crock pot for supper. Having time allotments. Nice. Bridget says she looks at the monthly and then she breaks it down daily. You got it. Barb says, I make a list of what things I want done by a certain date. Oh, this is good. And then break it down into the weeks leading up into the deadline. Yes. And then you can figure out what goes into the batch, right? What do you got to batch out so you stay on track? You remember we talked about reverse engineering? That's exactly what that is, Barb. You're doing it. Reverse engineering, I did an entire morning dedicated to that. That is where you start with the end goal and you go, what will it take for me to do to get to that point, right? So what is that goal made up of? Whatever the goal is that you have set for yourself, whether it's something online, something in the physical world, something you want to achieve, something that you're making or creating, right? Even if it comes to painting a dresser or building a wreath or making something, right? Making something, some object, there's a bunch of work that goes into it. It doesn't just like magically appear like, poof, there it is, right? So you backtrack and you go, now this is the goal, to have this done by this time. What do I have to do? What do I have to batch out? So my time is spent doing the things that lead up to that thing, right? And this is where I say, if you leave it for the very last minute, this is where maybe you're not doing your best work. You're hating on yourself, all right? You become a very bitter person, and the people around you are like, this business thing has you always in the fits. Like, what are you doing? You're always flustered. You don't have any patience anymore. Listen, people in your life will appreciate you more when you take care of you and you batch it out and you don't put yourself to the extreme. Because just because you're a procrastinator doesn't mean that you have to do that every single day of your life, okay? De-stress yourself. Time limits, yes. That's the other thing. I'll leave you with this. And if you have any questions, throw them out now. But thank you guys for joining me this morning as we wrap up here. Is take a timer, set a timer for yourself. Yes, that's what Brenda's saying. She sets a timer. That's a terrific idea. So you can give yourself 30 minutes in the morning to schedule out some social media posts, like pull some projects from your phone that you've done and taken some nice photos of. You've watermarked them. We had a quick training in here this week on just how I watermark. It doesn't even have to be a logo if you don't have a logo. Just put up the text on the pictures. They're in your camera roll. You know what? You're going to drink coffee in the morning now, and you're just going to pull up your phone and you're going to schedule stuff, because you can schedule right from your mobile app, your Facebook app, right? Facebook has the built-in scheduler. So think about what platforms you're on and what you can schedule out and get it done. Nice. Yes. Anybody else just love the organizer section? I just bought an agenda, but there's so many more pretty ones that I want too, right? Nice pens are a real thing as well. My husband doesn't get that, but you know what I'm talking about. When you get a nice pen, there's some really good things that you can do with a nice pen, right? Procrastinator. That's funny, Barb. Well, thank you guys for hanging out this morning. I hope it gives you some food for thought. Look at things that you can batch out and be better at in your business. And yes, there are times that things derail and we go off the road and we get like, oh man, how did I fall off the train so bad? You know what? Just pick it back up right there, right then now, right? Remember how when I first opened this group, which, can you believe it? We're already past a month and now we're into February. When's the best time to plant a tree? Now, today, right? So if you're not doing something that is going to help you, like, do it now. And if you haven't been doing it, or maybe you did it in the past and you kind of forgot about it, or you did it a long time ago and it's been a long time since you've done it again, like, get back on that train, right? Start, replant the seed, okay? Replant the seed and go, I'm going to start it again. Progress over perfection. Don't beat yourself up, because nobody is perfect. As much as they might try to project it, they're not perfect, right? We all fail at stuff, and that's how you know what works, right? In life, if everything was on the up and up and always great. I mean, I was saying yesterday to Matt that, we're talking about taking a trip to a warmer climate, right? Just for a getaway, for a business meeting on the beach, getting some vitamin D and a change that can really give some excitement into your business. Especially if you work hard, you get to play hard too, right? Never forget to, when you're building a business, that you're building a life. But also, I said to him, I'm like, I don't know what that would be like, living in a climate where I saw sun every single day for the year. I think I might even get tired of it. I mean, I love chocolate cake. And if I had to have chocolate cake for every meal, I probably will get a little bit tired of it, right? So there's something to be said in life when every day is not the same. Keeps it interesting, keeps business interesting. I love the fact that people are different. Man, the chats that you can have with the different people that come into your storefront, the different people that you meet online that are doing different things, like, that is the spice of life, right? Embrace the fact that people are different. Embrace the fact that days are different. Embrace the fact that sometimes things are yay on the up and up. Sometimes things are not, right? It's just a balance. It's just life, and it puts things in perspective for you. They all can't be great days. Some days we have lemons, right? Jan says, when we lived in Alabama, we missed the 4 seasons. Yeah, there's something to be said. Yes, there might have been ice pellets that sounded like they were going to break windows all last night, right? But yeah, that's how I'm going to appreciate the sunshine when I go to a warmer climate, because I know what it's like to have a snowy, cold day, and I appreciate it. And you will go on to appreciate things in your business because you're in the thick of it, right? You're doing it all right now. But as you grow, you appreciate the things even more that you didn't have before, right? There's always something to be grateful for. Claudia says, love starting my day with you guys. You inspire me. Have a great day. I got to get to my day job. I couldn't agree more, Claudia. And with that, it is over and out. I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stop by for a little bit of inspiration and have a cup of coffee and meet up with your friends, all right? Yep, not every day is rainbows and lollipops. All right, get out there and do something good for your business today. Business and life go hand in hand. And when your business is going well, things just somehow go better for you too, right? It's all good. It's all hand in hand. See ya, and see ya, Mom. Have a good day. I meet up with my mom here every morning. Love it. Love it. All right, see you guys. Love you all too. Bye. Oh, yes, please. Thank you, Shonda. She says, please like and share. I would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up, leave me a heart, leave me a comment. And if you'd be so kind to share this video, if it helps you, think about how it can help somebody else out there too, a friend. Share the love, and it will help keep our community healthy and growing. So see you guys again tomorrow. Bye.